conservation, and climate change. Ecosystems, communities of living organisms interacting with their physical environment. Examples include forests, rivers, coral reefs, and grasslands. Biodiversity, the variety of life forms in a particular habitat or ecosystem, including plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms. Natural resources, materials provided by the earth that humans use for food, energy, and raw materials. These include water, minerals, timber, and fossil fuels. Natural processes, processes that occur within nature, such as the water cycle, carbon cycle, and photosynthesis. These processes maintain life and ecological balance. Interconnection of concepts. The health of nature and ecosystems is directly impacted by environmental issues. For example, pollution and deforestation can lead to loss of biodiversity. Conservation efforts aim to mitigate these impacts and restore natural habitats and ecosystems. Effective conservation strategies require a comprehensive understanding of both environmental issues and the natural processes that sustain life on Earth. In summary, addressing environmental issues through conservation practices helps protect nature, ensuring the sustainability and health of our planet for future generations. Environmental issues encompass the negative impacts of human activities on the natural environment, leading to various problems that threaten ecosystems, biodiversity, and human health. Air pollution. Emissions from vehicles, industries, and burning fossil fuels release pollutants like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxides into the air, causing respiratory problems, acid rain, and contributing to global warming. Water pollution. Discharge of chemicals, waste, and toxins into rivers, lakes, and oceans, affecting marine life, ecosystems, and human health through contaminated drinking water and seafood. Environmental issues, conservation, and nature are interconnected concepts that deal with the natural world, the challenges it faces, and the efforts to preserve and protect it. Environmental issues refer to harmful effects caused by human activities on the natural environment. Climate change. The increase in global temperatures due to greenhouse gas emissions from activities such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes. This leads to extreme weather patterns, melting ice caps, rising sea levels, and disrupted ecosystems. Pollution. The contamination of air, water, and soil by harmful substances. This includes air pollution from vehicle and industrial emissions, water pollution from chemicals and waste, and soil pollution from pesticides and industrial waste. Deforestation. The large-scale removal of forests for agriculture, logging, or urban development. This leads to habitat loss, decreased biodiversity, and contributes to climate change as trees absorb carbon dioxide. Biodiversity loss. The extinction of species and destruction of habitats due to human activities. This reduces the variety of life on Earth, impacting ecosystems and the services they provide. Waste management. The challenge of disposing of increasing amounts of waste, particularly non-biodegradable plastics. Poor waste management can lead to pollution and health problems. Overpopulation. The increasing human population puts pressure on natural resources, leading to overconsumption, habitat destruction, and increased waste and pollution. Conservation involves the protection, preservation, and careful management of natural resources and environments. The goals of conservation are to ensure the sustainability of ecosystems and biodiversity. Protected areas. Establishing national parks, wildlife reserves, and marine protected areas to conserve habitats and species. Sustainable practices. Promoting sustainable agriculture, forestry, and fishing practices that minimize environmental impact. Restoration projects. Rehabilitating degraded ecosystems such as reforestation projects and wetland restoration. Wildlife protection. Enforcing laws and regulations to protect endangered species from poaching and habitat destruction. Environmental education. raising awareness and educating the public about the importance of conservation and sustainable living. Nature encompasses all living and non-living things occurring naturally, meaning not created or significantly altered by humans. Soil degradation. Overuse of pesticides, deforestation, and unsustainable farming practices lead to soil erosion, loss of fertility, and desertification, affecting food security and natural habitats. Biodiversity loss. Human activities such as habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change result in the extinction of species and the loss of genetic diversity, weakening ecosystems and their ability to provide essential services. Conservation involves the sustainable management and protection of natural resources and ecosystems to prevent degradation and ensure their long-term health and stability. Protected areas. Establishing national parks, wildlife reserves, and marine protected areas to safeguard habitats and species from human interference. Sustainable practices. Promoting agricultural, forestry, and fishing practices that minimize environmental impact and maintain ecosystem balance. Restoration projects. Rehabilitating degraded ecosystems through reforestation, wetland restoration, and soil conservation projects to restore ecological functions and biodiversity. Wildlife protection. Implementing laws and regulations to protect endangered species from poaching, trafficking, and habitat destruction, and supporting breeding and reintroduction programs. Environmental education. Raising awareness and educating communities, policymakers, and businesses about the importance of conservation and sustainable living to foster a culture of environmental stewardship. Nature refers to the natural world and all living and non-living things that occur naturally on Earth. Biodiversity. The variety of life forms within an ecosystem or the entire planet, including species diversity, genetic diversity, and ecosystem diversity, which contribute to the resilience and functionality of natural systems. Climate change refers to long-term changes in temperature, precipitation, and other atmospheric conditions on Earth, primarily driven by human activities that increase greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere. Global warming. The increase in Earth's average surface temperature due to the accumulation of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, carbon tetrahydride, and nitrous oxide, NO, from burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes. Extreme weather events. More frequent and severe weather events such as hurricanes, heat waves, droughts, and heavy rainfall, resulting from changes in climate patterns. Sea level rise. Melting ice caps and glaciers, along with the thermal expansion of seawater, lead to rising sea levels, threatening coastal communities, ecosystems, and infrastructure. Ocean acidification. Increased CO absorption by oceans lowers the pH of seawater, affecting marine life, particularly organisms with calcium carbonate shells and skeletons, such as corals and shellfish. Impact on ecosystems. Shifts in climate zones, altered migration patterns, and changing ecosystems disrupt species interactions and lead to habitat loss, affecting biodiversity and ecosystem services. Human health and socioeconomic impact. Climate change affects agriculture, water resources, health, and economies, leading to food and water shortages, increased health risks, displacement, and economic instability. Environmental issues, conservation, nature, and climate change are deeply interconnected. Human activities that cause environmental degradation and climate change also impact natural ecosystems and biodiversity. Conservation efforts aim to protect and restore nature.
I will be uploading a YouTube short every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, plus a long-format video on different English language learning topics every Thursday. So stay tuned for more upcoming content.
If you have any feedback for me, positive or negative, please leave a comment.